All right, we are here for sentencing this afternoon in the case of State of Florida versus Everett Glenn Miller, case number 2017 CF 2906. Parties announce your appearance for the record. State.
Brian Williams and Jamie McManus for the State of Florida.
Defense.
Mr. Miller.
Roseanne Eckert on behalf of Mr. Miller.
And I'll note that Mr. Miller is present at counsel's table with his attorneys. All right, a few preliminary matters before the court pronounces sentence. I was provided prior to the hearing today a restitution order that was represented as being agreed to by all parties and having been gone over with Mr. Miller. And my understanding is that it is to be reduced to a judgment. Is that your understanding, State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Miller, your attorneys represented to the court that they went over that with you and that you agreed to entry of that order. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Based on the nature of the charges, we have 2 capital felonies and 2 misdemeanors. A score sheet is not required, although the parties did provide one to me. The state agreed that a score sheet does not apply.
We do, Your Honor.
Defense?
We do, Judge.
All right, for purposes of sentencing, all fines, restitution, and court cost are reduced to a civil final judgment, and all sentences are to be consecutive to one another. I will now pronounce the sentence. As to count 4, carrying concealed firearm in an establishment licensed to dispense alcohol, the court adjudicates you guilty of that offense, sentences you to 60 days in the Osceola County Jail with credit for 60 days time served. As to count 3, the charge of resisting an officer without violence, the court adjudicates you guilty, sentences you to 365 days in the Osceola County Jail with credit for time served. Costs are assessed in the amount of $516, which includes the $100 cost of prosecution fee, and that will be reduced to a civil final judgment. The $50 application fee previously assessed for the appointment of counsel will also be reduced to a civil final judgment. A separate restitution order has been entered, and that amount therein will be reduced to a civil final judgment. As to counts 1 and 2, the court adjudicates you guilty and pronounces the sentence as follows. As to counts 1 and 2, for the murder of Officer Matthew Baxter and Sergeant Richard Sam Howard, I hereby sentence you to death. For the reasons outlined in the sentencing order, I am filing in open court with the clerk of the court. I find you are indigent for purposes of the automatic appeal to the Florida Supreme Court, and I appoint counsel to represent you. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. We would request, if it's possible, that Mr. Miller be transferred directly to the Department of Corrections from the Orange County Jail, rather than have to come back to Osceola and then be transferred to DOC, if that's possible.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Assuming that corrections has no issue with that, I will make that happen. Anything further from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Miller had asked about a return of his property to his father previously, and I told him that I wanted to do that after sentence was pronounced, and I will be filing that. I just wanted to state on the record, because I remembered the state did not object, and that Mr. Miller did want his property released, anything that wasn't put into evidence to his father.
That's correct. We have no objection.
Okay, then go ahead and submit me a proposed order, get Mr. Williams' approval on that order, and I can sign that in chambers.
Thank you.
Anything further?
No, sir.
All right, court will be in recess.
We're in recess. Hold on.
Good.